As someone who lives and breathes college football, I can promise you that this season will bring the mayhem. You'll feel it during huge wins and heartbreaking losses, on game-winning drives, or on drives that end in a post-game fender bender. This season, I'm teaming up with Allstate to highlight these key moments to let fans know if mayhem can show up on game day, imagine what can happen the rest of the week.
For expert advice, call your local agent today.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the day. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom, boom, boom.
He is Jalen versus everybody.
For everybody that just heard our intro.
What?
Didn't you hear?
Wait, no, stop. Hit the brakes.
Hold on.
Hold on.
You don't appreciate this.
No, you hold on. I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it right now. I don't appreciate it right now. Every time I miss a syllable, you get all into your feelings and say this and that. And now what you've been doing lately, and I noticed because I'm here every day, what you've been doing lately is you used your intro time to get on your soapbox and just say things that aren't part of the intro. Yet you get mad at me for trying to change the intro. But let's be real. Do you know who does change the intro? Jalen Rose. Do you know who does the exact same thing every day? David Jacoby. Now you can continue.
A couple of things. First and foremost, you're misleading the people. When Jacoby says change the intro, it's not just changing the intro.
I don't want to talk about changing the intro anymore.
It's changing the fabric of the entire show.
Okay, move on.
Everything that Reg pushes,
what were you going to say?
Would not be able to go forward.
We've had this
if we changed to, what is that?
This is going to be a tense show today, I can tell.
What is that?
Did you have a point? When you stopped the whole showdown, did you have a point?
So I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
So it ain't changed the intro for Spotify. It's changed the whole show, number one. But that ain't where I was going.
Okay.
I was going to stress that there's a tragedy taking place in the world. It's really disappointing.
What's wrong? I'm sorry I yelled at you, Jalen.
Did you hear our intro? Did you hear what Redman said?
Yeah.
He'll do if you act stupid.
He'll pop the trunk.
He'll pop the trunk. And for everybody who has not signed our petition, I'm taking this intro time to make sure you do.
Sign the petition.
How High 2 does not feature Redman and Method Man. I didn't sleep well last night.
I didn't sleep at all.
I did not sleep well.
I just listened to Redman and Method Man.
I did not
all
sleep
night long,
well
Rockweiler,
last
all night
night.
long.
But you know what we're going to do? Say, what up, doe? Start the show. Can you go from there? Can you ad-lib? What up, doe?
No, here's the thing. Okay. Can we make a promise?
Yes, sir.
If we're going to spend hours talking about not changing the intro, can you just not change the intro yourself every single day? Because you've done a different intro every day for the past 6 days.
When we go into Spotify, for everybody, it's not just changing the intro. It's changing the whole show.
But
it's changing the whole show.
You know what I'm talking about. You're just playing ignorant.
You know what?
Exactly
I figured this out. I figured this out. Jacoby trying to get Reg out of the show, y'all. He's trying to eliminate Reg from the show.
I'm trying to eliminate Jalen from the show.
If we go to Spotify, it eliminates Reg from the show. Do you hear every caller? Do you see every voicemail? Do you see every tweet?
No, I do.
People shout out Big Reg 23.
Do you know what they don't want us to do? Change the intro. Do you know you've done every single day for the past 6 shows since the whole controversy started? You've changed the intro. Is that true or false? Just a one-word answer.
Yes.
Okay, so let's make a pact that we do the intro as planned.
No.
He's Jalen Anthony Rose.
What up, Dow?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in, center stage, on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
We're Jalen and Jacoby. What do we do?
We get the people what they want.
Last night, it was Drew Brees' night in front of the home fans on Monday Night Football. He passed with this touchdown, 62-yard touchdown. That's the way to do it. He passed Peyton Manning's all-time career passing yards record.
He did
Passing yards is basically the metric, the counting statistic that can match you up with other quarterbacks in their career. But that said, Jalen Rose, Why isn't Drew Brees celebrated and appreciated like other great quarterbacks of this generation and of all time?
Well, a couple of reasons. Blindly not necessarily taking to totality situation and record and circumstance and just the quality of your body of work. Initially, people just jump right to how many championship rings does somebody have.
Of course, but let me say something to that is if you said to me, who's a greater quarterback, Drew Brees or Dan Marino, I wouldn't even think about it. I'd be like, oh, Dan Marino for sure. And not only did he not win Super Bowls, he was losing teams. But continue.
But also, it's the measurables of sometimes how you get it done. And Drew Brees is precise. He's also stoic with his demeanor a lot of times. He just goes about his business. He's not thumping his chest a lot. He's not making crazy comments in the media. And sometimes you don't see that rocket throw you'll see from Dan Marino when he's throwing it to Duper or Clayton that just wows you with his ability and his talent. And so when this conversation does take place, it's going to be like, how many rings does? Oh yeah, Tom Brady has 5. Joe Montana has 4.
That's where it always ends
Terry
up.
Bradshaw has 4.
Really, what I think it is, it's the precision. It is the demeanor, and it's also just the lack of highlights, lack of true wow factor plays. The Brett Favre, how did he do that? He's, if you said who would you rather watch play quarterback? I would choose Brett Favre over Drew Brees. If you said who would you rather play quarterback for your team? I would say Drew Brees over Brett Favre. But I think that's really part of it is those signature moments, because Tom Brady also plays a death by 1,000 cuts, no flashy deep balls, no crazy runs, but he's had those big moments. And I think Drew Brees has had the same consistent but persistent good quarterbacking, but lack of those big clutch moments.
Also, to further his legacy, he went to a New Orleans team that was called the Aints for a really long time.
Oh, yeah.
So he had to turn around a culture for a football team. So a lot of times, initially, we weren't paying attention. People were still trying to compare what's happening with Eli, what's happening with Phillip Rivers. Okay, which one of these guys is really going to emerge from that class?
Yep.
So his level of excellence and his consistency, you want to start to now divvy out the credit. You're going to give Sean Payton a lot of credit for being a terrific play caller, designing all of the things that you see happening out there on the field. You're going to give talent to the backs. Now he has Ingram, he has Kimura. They're one of the best 1-2 punches in the game. So there's a lot of things that happen that are moving parts that a lot of times we take the credit solely off Drew Brees that he rightfully deserves. But when you look back at his totality, a Super Bowl champion, they carried the defense that year when they won the Super Bowl. A guy that's also found ways to reinvent himself. When I ask you, name me the 2 best receivers Drew Brees has ever had, who would you say?
It's hard. I think the whole thing is hard. But another thing is he also has this reputation for being such a great person. And we actually got a little look into that last night because he was mic'd up during the pass that earned him the record.
I love you, bro. I love you, bro. I love you, bro. Hey, I love you guys so much. Hey, you're going to accomplish anything in life you're willing to work for, right? I love you boys.
You can accomplish anything in the world if you want to work for it. They're I want to watch a movie when we get home.
I want to make some popcorn and raid the refrigerator. Because we celebrate tonight.
I want to
Can I eat as much candy as I want tonight?
Yeah.
I think he always handles himself with class. And sometimes in a me first generation, a lot of times, we look for what's loud. What are they saying on social media?
Of course.
What are they saying in the media? He consistently goes about his work. He's the athlete that's dressed in overalls. It looks like work, so many people miss it. He's not giving you the flashy run and the big time, signature seasoned individual for somebody else that he plays with on the outside. Tom Brady had that with Moss. He gave us that year where it was
don't forget
whoa!
Montana and Rice. And you're like you mentioned earlier, he hasn't really had the support of great wide receivers, but nonetheless, he has the record. But there's one thing about this record.
Joe Horn stands out.
You know I can go negative, right? You know I can go negative.
Ain't really seen Jimmy Graham since he left the Saints. I'm going to go negative on this, Jalen Rose. If I break a record, which is literally like the biggest record at my position, and I break it on Monday Night Football, the sport's biggest stage, you gotta give me something better than a laminated piece of paper. Dog, you got a laminated piece of paper. They handed him a laminated piece of paper in 8x10. They just handed it to him. Like, a plaque, a trophy, unveil a statue, light some fireworks. You can't just give me basically what our rundown looks like and be like, here you go. It's ridiculous. Well, just like I don't look at the rundown, I wouldn't look at that. I agree with you. I think he would have deserved more than a laminate, but I think you're jumping the gun.
What are you talking about?
It was during a game.
Jumping the gun?
He's been there for a really long time.
Don't give him anything.
And people sleep on the fact that he played 5 years in San Diego, hurt his shoulder, and it was a low percentage chance by some doctor's account that he wasn't going to play again. So I think, to pump your brakes, he's going to get celebrated. He's going to get the vehicle. He's going to get all of the gifts that you feel like and I feel like he deserved. Just going to happen during the football game.
Well, during the football game, during this big moment, it was emotional for Drew Brees as we saw when he was mic'd up.
Can I tell you something was emotional for me real quick? Watching Jordan Reed catch a pass. It's going against him in fantasy. And for all I know, if he doesn't catch a ball, I win.
No one cares about your fantasy.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But people care about Drew Brees. You know who else cares about Drew Brees?
Oh.
This fan. Take a look. He's crying. I mean, he's emotional. Look at him. Look at the big man with the tattoos and the beard. Just he's not just it's not one tear like when you're watching a movie. He's really crying. He's into it. Soft move or boss move, getting this emotional over Drew Brees breaking the record.
Boss move.
Okay, explain.
It's a boss move because he's emotionally invested. And a lot of times people forget the term fan is short for fanatic. Mm-hmm. And we don't know if Drew Brees' performance or his philanthropic endeavors and what he's done for New Orleans has that guy so very fortunate that he gets a chance to watch that guy play quarterback for his team.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Brees. Congratulations to that fan. And come on, NFL, you got to do better than a laminated piece.
They're going to give him some
Moving on. You know, Giannis gets talked about a lot as we head into the season. It seems like every year is supposed to be the year where he makes the MVP leap, and it doesn't really happen. Well, Alex Kennedy had a very interesting tweet about Giannis. Here it is. NBA insiders believe Giannis Antetokounmpo will eventually leave Milwaukee. While Giannis may not care about being a small market, it's unlikely that other stars would join him in Milwaukee, and that's the angle other teams may use to sell him on leaving, asking for a trade. Jalen Rose. He's still on contract with the Bucks for 3 more seasons. This is not like a Jimmy Butler situation. But do you see Milwaukee in the next 2 years being able to put a team around him that makes him want to sign an extension?
My distinct answer is I hope so. And there were a couple of things in that tweet that I want to highlight. The word eventually, which is infinite. Could be 1 or 2 seasons. It could be 8 or 9 seasons. The other thing I want to highlight is we got to also start giving the players some responsibility for recruiting people to come run with them. I think that gets lost. Okay. When we were trying to put together the Fab Five, we were at the McDonald's All-American game. And we arranged it so we can have rooms that were joined by a bathroom so that we could try to figure out a way to make it work. And we were recruiting other players to come run with us too. Calvin Rayford, don't go to Kansas. Come play with us. Big Dog Robinson, don't go to Purdue. Come play with us. Voshawn Leonard, my high school teammate, don't go to Minnesota. Come play with us.
We always say, even when I asked the question, I was like, can the Bucks put the players around him to make him want to stay?
Correct.
And he put the players around him to make him want to stay. He's not a rookie anymore.
Correct.
He's
at the All-Star games. He got everybody on the text. He's playing in the biggest leagues. He knows the players intimately. You see LeBron James moving pieces around the chessboard.
That doesn't mean Giannis can't do it.
Correct. He can make it happen.
I like how you flip that. Let's move on to news that matters. The Rock Allegiance Festival was in Camden, New Jersey this Saturday night. I missed it. Did you attend?
No, I don't know what that is.
Okay. Well, it is an allegiance of rock and roll bands and acts, one of which is new metal, rock rap phenomenon, Limp Bizkit. I did buy a Limp Bizkit album once upon a time and listened to it all the way through. I can't lie. And Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit was on stage. And he was just doing his thing when Shaggy 2 Dope of the Insane Clown Posse tried to drop kick him. What? It was not a successful drop kick. Fell short. Fell short like an air ball. Jalen Rose, a lot of questions. Number one, how do you feel about the drop kick as a move in general?
This was staged.
I
like the drop kick in general because it takes a lot of courage if you're going to take both of your feet off of the ground during an altercation. But that was staged.
We got bamboozled?
Yeah, that was staged.
You think that was staged?
Yeah, that was staged.
And the thing is, I know you haven't seen this video yet. Correct. That was the first. I bet you don't even know the people involved.
Correct.
You just know that was staged.
That was staged. Because number one, I've been to way too many shows. You should try it sometime. Concerts are awesome. When an artist is performing, you can imagine there's so many people that are watching. From security to people that they travel with to other acts to people that are part of their entourage, number one. Number two, he had a clear shot to go kick him and run through it if he wanted to. He stopped and airmailed
I don't know. I mean, I feel like, look at the security guard gets him right away. He hurt himself because he didn't land right.
But look,
and also, if it was staged, why wouldn't he kick him? Why, if we're going to stage it, I'm going to land the kick. You know what I mean? I'm going to land the kick.
So we can talk about it like we're doing right now?
If he kicked him, we still talk about it.
Just like...
If there's Limp Bizkit's in the news, it's going to be on Jalen.
I grew up watching WWF. Okay. And I understood that though the physical mechanics of the individuals are real, they're acting for an outcome. And a lot of people think that probably happened in the MMA fight between Khabib and Conor. Like, did they try to do that to hype the next fight?
No, they didn't.
I don't believe they did. But in this case, he could have clearly kicked him. Okay, he could have ran through, could have kicked him, he could have pushed him.
Maybe he's just not a great drop kicker.
He could have ran him off of the stage. He stopped short.
Well, see, Ring has been with us for a while. And it seems like over the course of the past couple of years, Ring's starting to blow up. And there's a reason for that. When you have a Ring camera on your door, it changes everything you thought about the world. Seriously, it's like, oh, how come this wasn't invented years ago? Because now we had the technology where someone knocks on your door. You don't have to open up the curtain and peek outside, and the person who's out there can see you peeking. What you do now is your phone, no matter where you are in the world, your phone says, hey, Jacoby, someone's at the door. Do you want to see who it is? You push a button, and then in real time, you can see that person, listen to that person, and speak to that person. Ring changes everything. And what it does, it really just makes all neighborhoods safer. It discourages people from stealing packages. It just keeps people from knocking on your door that you don't want to knock on your door. And also sometimes it's good news. Sometimes you're like, oh, hey, Steve, that's weird that you dropped by because it's 2018. Normally people text first, but I can talk to you even though I'm across town. You probably should have texted. And that's kind of fun too. You should get Ring in your life. I don't even need to explain to you all the details of the product because Ring is a household name product right now. And there's a reason for that. But here's the good news, guys. As a listener of Jalen and Jacoby, you get a special offer on a Ring starter kit available right now. With a video doorbell, a motion-activated floodlight cam, the starter kit has everything you need to start building a ring of security around your home. Just go to ring.com/JANDJ. That is ring.com/JANDJ. Next time Steve stops by without texting and you're across town, you can clown him from the comfort of your phone. Ring.com/JANDJ.
Technology Truths, brought to you by Geico.
Technology Truths.
Truth. Teenagers can communicate entirely in emojis.
How was the birthday party? Pizza slice, kitten, soccer ball, pineapple?
Truth. It's so easy to switch and save on car insurance at Geico.com.
What are you talking about? Paperclip, shoulder shrug, high five, wizard hat? What?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
So we got the podcast exclusive topics. Because the executives, they always got the TV show on. They don't have the sound up because they're on conference calls. But they don't listen to the podcast.
No.
Especially this part of the podcast.
No.
We're going to have to talk about your boy Andre Drummond.
Too hot for TV.
Serious. Oh, you're going to go between the eyeballs right here.
I didn't want to talk about this.
That ain't, by the way, that ain't my boy, just so everybody know. That's my little brother.
I didn't want to talk about it.
I just got to make sure it's a distinction. Andre Drummond is not my boy. That's my little brother.
One thing I got to make very clear about this topic is these are very, very shoddily reported, unsubstantiated, most likely not true rumors. Okay? Let me just say that. So before you tweet at Andre Drummond and say, we were saying this about you, not true.
Well, if you're going to tweet at Andre Drummond, first and foremost, Does this remind you of kind of like the Jimmy Butler allegations?
Yes.
Versus Karl Anthony Towns, allegedly?
Yeah, that there was some sort of love triangle. Just seems like it's nice to say, to put out into the air, but it's most likely not true. And that one was definitely not true.
I'm going to text Andre and try to get him on the program because I saw this report.
Shout out.
On a few blogs yesterday as well.
We'll probably ask some basketball questions first.
It's funny that you bring it up because the first thing I thought was, I wonder if Harlan and Jacoby and Reg, Tanner, Lisa, Curtis, Kayla, JC, all of these individuals.
Alex.
Would want to talk about this on the program because it's unsubstantiated information.
Yeah, the answer is no, but we'll talk about it on the podcast. So let me finally get to it. So we always support Black Sports Online. We go there for a lot of our information.
Shout to Robert Lethal.
Shout out.
He's Robert Littell, I believe. Shout to him. He knows who he is.
But we got a big game around Thanksgiving. Those are Wolverines handling your Buckeyes. Another subject for another day.
Yep. So he's sourced another report from another website that Andre Drummond has simultaneously impregnated both his ex-girlfriend and a recent jump off. I might have read this entire piece to call it that. Some of the evidence are some Instagram stories from Pistons preseason games, some other Instagram evidence. When you bring it up, there's some sonograms involved. We do not know if this is true. But Jalen, do you think it's true?
When you are a public figure, a professional athlete, I've tried to make sure I kept a level of discipline for unsubstantiated rumors because there's a reason why the team's name is on the front, but you carry your name on the back. And by the way, as somebody, probably shouldn't be saying this to the microphone, but I will because it might encourage or motivate somebody else or give them a level of spirit to not make these decisions, or if you're part of this, to gain strength that I was able to endure. My biological father, Jimmy Walker, allegedly had 13 kids by 11 women. And so I knew that my entire time growing up. And in my head, I didn't want to perpetuate the cycle. Mm-hmm. I always told myself that. And I went on and had a couple of amazing, terrific, wonderful, the absolute best biological kids that anybody could have. So it worked out well for me. However, they're not the same age and they do have the same mom. What you're now saying allegedly is that Andre Drummond has two women pregnant.
I'm not even saying that allegedly. I'm saying that we saw something online that cited something else online that's based on some Instagram stories that says that that's the case.
Well, let me tell you when I stopped reading, because I saw this story. I stopped reading because the second line says that she has a pimp.
Yes, one of the two.
And the reason
we don't know if that's true because they've started with I danced with her in Miami and she has a pimp. That was like a first-hand thing.
And the reason why, and I don't want to show my extensive level of knowledge on this topic on a sports program, but what I will say is when I saw that word, it made it bigger than basketball. It made it bigger than gossip. Okay? Because that inherently takes it to a different place that we don't want to go.
No.
Is that pretty fair?
No. And again, like I can't say enough times, we do not know if this is actually factual, but I do know that he had a very high profile relationship with an actress like 4 years ago.
Is it iCarly?
I believe so. Maybe her name's Carly Rae. I don't really why. I think it's a youth focused program and I'm a little older. Mm-hmm. But, he's made some interesting dating decisions.
But the good thing about Andre Drummond is I got the number in the phone. Gonna reach out to him. Shout to his mom, who's terrific. They're also supporters of the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy. And so before I speak into a microphone and substantiate rumors further, I have the opportunity to reach out to the source.
Well, we got another podcast exclusive topic, which is reported by the New York Post.
But is that term called, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, is that term called Irish twins?
No. Irish twins are when they're like 10 months apart.
Okay, what?
Those are Irish twins. When you're like, hey, I'm Gary, and this is my sister, like Kayla, and we're both 15. It's like, really? You're twins? Like, no, we're Irish twins. It's like she was born in January, and I was born in November of the same
that means the same mom.
Same mom.
But 10 months apart.
Exactly.
So once she has
the baby.
She finished carrying the first one, then she also has a second.
Gets the second one.
Like many words in my vocabulary, I've been using that wrong for 30 years.
You know what a big one is that you use wrong?
What?
Dubious. We'll talk about that off wax. I'll print it out for you just so you can read it and get inside your book.
Okay. But the second part of what I was going to get with by bringing up my situation and my biological father, technically, if that is true, it's none of our business, but what I want to see happen, and I'm pretty sure because he's the kind of young man that's going to make sure this happens, if he's having 2 kids, if he's having 10 kids, be a father to him.
Be a father. Regardless.
That's the story.
Regardless of the relationship with the mom.
That's the story.
Make sure you keep a relationship with the kid. So this one is a little bit more fun to talk about.
Too hot for TV.
So there's a vacation.
I need a vacation.
Okay, you need a vacation. I could use a vacation. And in December, around the holidays, a lot of times some people go on a little vacation, right? So December 14th to 17th, you can go on a vacation. And it's kind of like one of those everything's paid for vacations. It's one of those everything's paid for vacations, right? Where it's like a sort of like when I went on a cruise, you can buy a package where they give you all the drinks and they give you all the food. Except this vacation is called Sex Island. It is a drug-fueled orgy offering unlimited sex with prostitutes. And they had some backlash last year, but they're trying it again. Sex Island will be held from 14th until 17th of December, where every guest will be provided with 2 prostitutes, unlimited food and alcohol, and a bevy of raunchy activities. Drug use is encouraged, I believe, if not provided. And they say, quote, all the girls are here to please you and make you feel like a king. If you have any special fantasy, make sure to inform the host or the girls, and they will make sure to bring them to life. This is in the New York Post. And there's a flyer for this as well. I have a lot of questions. Like, someone woke up in the morning and was like, I'm an entrepreneur. This is how I'm going to dedicate my time and energy and effort to charging sleazy dudes $5,000 to do illegal things for 3 days.
So you use the term sleazy.
Yeah, that's to put it lightly.
Okay. I want to get deeper into that meaning because you framed it towards the men. Right?
What do you mean?
You said with sleazy men.
I think everyone involved is sleazy. I think everybody involved is sleazy. I think that's fair to say.
So there are 2 separate, there are men and women involved in this, active participants.
Sure, and everything in between.
You said one individual was bringing equity to the table, $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
The other individuals are bringing prostitution and the ability to please and treat the men like kings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to acknowledge, however, is this something that you could find like online and like register for?
I'm sure. I don't know. I didn't try to register, but here's one thing I want to ask you is, remember when my wife went away and I had the kids for 9 days and I was like, look, I'm going to do something similar. Just as a goof, do I send her the link and be like, this is what I was thinking?
Don't play those games.
No. It's fun. She
it's so
I'm
far
serious.
out.
She knows I'm not serious.
Here's why. Here's why you don't play that game. Because she's only going to read 5% of your email anyway.
No one read this whole article except for me.
Correct.
No one in the world. Everyone just read the headline.
So what's going to happen is you're going to lose her at the headline. And then she's going to be mad at you for even proposing.
Here's the thing is, it's like
she's not going to get to the funny part.
Like, you can be mean if you're funny, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's not even funny at all. Like, it's not even funny. It's just like, why are you doing this to make me angry? Like, it's not going to be good. No one's going to enjoy any of that.
I have to say this because we're talking about this topic. And not to diminish in any way, shape, or form how anybody makes a living. But for the people who go on this trip, in theory, you're paying to have sex with up to 60 people. Correct?
I don't know all those details, but it says that...
they each get 2 prostitutes.
Yes, every guest...
$5,000 gets you 2 prostitutes for how long?
It says the 14th to the 17th. I'm wondering if the first and second are travel days. Is it really just 2 full days?
So I have to say this as a married man and somebody that's been out of the game forever. Out of the game forever. Like, I have gray hairs from the game. I have cobwebs from the game. I'm so out of the game. When I had a Holly burial, I was out of the game. It's a bargain.
I did think it was a low number. I did think that. I expected, I was like, y'all probably put an extra 0 on this. Because the clientele, like the type of person that's like, oh, this sounds like a great time. Like those people, like, I think you could probably get more than $5,000 from.
Well, just look at it like this. First and foremost, people pay that for the cruise itself.
People pay that for like a couple bottles at a club. You know? You know what? I can't lie. That's something that I said to our producer earlier. I was like, that number's pretty low. But you know what that probably is? That's probably just like the getting you in the door number. Like that's like the people that pay that, they probably don't get the full thing. You know what I mean?
I know what this is.
You know what I mean? It's like, but when you get there, they're like, oh, by the way.
I'm going to pull you behind the curtain.
Yeah.
I know what this is.
Like, that's just for room and board.
I know what this is. This is, you pay to get into the establishment, then you pay again to get in VIP.
Yes. And then
once you get in VIP,
exactly.
You got to pay for whatever might happen in VIP.
Yeah, it's one of those. But I just want to know, who are the people that go on this. I think it's like 60 dudes, or 60 people, I should say. Who knows? No, I don't even know, but however many people it is, let's say 30, it just seems like, who are you? What is your station in life? What are your goals?
So
what makes you happy?
Here's what I was going to say. It's like, in one way, I want to be like, man, these guys who would pay for this, not only are they thirsty, but they're doing it openly in public.
Yes.
Right? But then I said to myself, people do that on social media all of the time.
Guess
are open and sleazy and thirsty.
You know what? I'm just curious about this because it's like the Gronk boat times a million. You know what I mean? Because it makes me wonder, like, who's the Gronk boat. I watched all the videos. I was fascinated with it as an event. Like, who are the clientele?
You're the only
what's
person
going on?
Who watched it.
No, I'm not. Sarah Spain from our company went on the Gronk boat and reported from it.
She's the best.
Shot time. So what I want to say is, I'm going to follow up on this. I'm saying that into wax for our producers. Let's get a Google alert on Sex Island vacation because I want to see if it actually happens. Like I believe it was supposed to take place in Colombia last year, and the Colombian authorities were like, "Y'all ain't going to do that here." That's a no.
I got.
And they're like, "We'll do everything we can to shut down Sex Island."
I got 2 names that I need investigative reporter David Jacoby to channel. One is Dan Rather. The other is Bob Lee.
I don't think I'm going to reach out to Bob Lee about this, Jalen.
I think I'll hit him up about this one.
Okay,
this is our chance to get him on the show.
Don't copy me on the email. Don't send him this clip.
I'm going to say I got it from you. You know that.
No, I just said don't. I just said don't.
Jacoby brought this to the show today. What do you think?
I just said don't. You do that.
I'm going to forward it to him right now.
I'm changing the intro. You do that, I'm changing the intro. Guaranteed.
You'll be mad at me for real.
Oh, for real. I don't talk to Bob Lee like that. I worship him from afar. He ain't in my phone. For real.
Nah, I know something I can do to make you mad at me.
Yes. If you tarnish my name in front of the legendary Bob Lee, the dude who launched this network, like literally, is like the first face on his network, is a joy to have around. I don't get starstruck. I get starstruck for Bob Lee.
And that's my guy.
I love Bob Lee. I'm going to write him just a blind email of appreciation.
That is hilarious.
Jalen Rose.
What up, dog?
Very important news story. International news story.
What?
Dublin, Ireland. Krispy Kreme came to town. And they had a 24-hour drive-through window.
24 hours. Okay.
It devolved into chaos. 100 cars lined up, honking, cursing, screaming. they had to shut down the 24-hour window at 11:30 at night. Like, we're not talking like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. They shut it down 11:30 at night. And then while we were on the pre-production meeting, do you ever go to those?
I've been to a couple.
No. For this show?
Sometime.
No. Okay. I'm not talking about Get Up now.
I've attended partially.
I'm not talking about Countdown.
The meeting every morning.
That's because you're next to me.
Correct.
And you're barely listening. I just brought up the fact that donuts are overrated. Huge controversy amongst the staff. What? Huge controversy. What? Here's the thing. The first thing that my stomach doesn't need in the morning is a fried piece of dough with frosting on it with sugar on top of that. That's not the first thing my stomach needs. That's not the first thing my stomach needs in the morning. Donuts are not a breakfast food. If I ever have a donut, I will have them for dessert. Like, I really think that donuts are so overrated that they should almost be eliminated as a food group. Like, seriously? The idea that we have so many franchise restaurants, Krispy Kreme, Dunkin' Donuts, that are built. Like, I understand if we have Mexican food restaurants and burger joints and pizza places, but the idea that we have billion-dollar companies that just built off of donuts, it's crazy to me.
So I have to ask a follow-up question before I respond. Do you like brownies?
I mean, I love a nice, like a brownie with a bunch of vanilla ice cream on top.
Do you like cookies?
Cookies, not my favorite, but of course I like them because they taste good. I'm not saying I don't like donuts. I'm saying they're overrated. It's not like saying, Enes Kanter isn't good at basketball, but you can say Enes Kanter is overrated at basketball. I'm not saying donuts don't taste good when I put them in my mouth. They're delicious. I'm just saying that they are overrated by our society.
What? I disagree with you. I love donuts, and I'm going to stand for the crowd of people who feel like me. I think you sound like somebody.
I didn't say I don't love donuts, dog. You're not listening.
You did say you didn't love them.
So they're overrated.
Anything that you can't love something and call it overrated. Like those.
I don't love donuts.
No, you can't.
I didn't say that.
Right. You can't. Come on, man.
I don't love donuts.
Thank you. You know these microphones work, right?
Let's not get caught up in minutia.
Well, you cut me off.
I know, because you deserve to be cut off. All right. You misquoted me.
Okay. You said you don't like donuts. You don't love donuts, and you think they're overhyped.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Am I quoting you properly?
Yes.
You sound like an individual that's in his 30s or 40s that's really health conscious.
Yeah.
That drank a smoothie this morning.
Yeah. I don't like
that.
The way.
That's how you sound. You sound mature. You sound like a husband. You sound like a dad.
It's like a McDonald's burger.
You know what
else
you sound like?
It makes me feel bad.
But you forget the most point. You forgot where you came from. You forgot where you came from.
Oh, I used to go to Donuts. We used to go to Dunkin' Donuts with my dad.
Correct.
And he limited.
I
was younger.
You hear him peeling like this onion?
No, here was the
Y'all
here's the rule.
Beep, beep.
I'm not backing anything up. I was 7 years old. The rule was I can only get 3.
Beep.
Would you ever eat 3 donuts now?
Well, if you've already eaten 3 million, you probably had enough. It's probably like listening to the same song for so many times. It's like when that come on the radio, like I've heard this enough. Like you've eaten so many. It's like me drinking 40 ounces. Like I've had so many, like I don't want another one.
Once a year I get an Old English 40 ounces just to remind myself.
Kill your stomach.
Just to remind myself.
But that goes back to this conversation. That's why I use this example. You forgot where you came from. You know you love some donuts. You started being more healthy. What did you eat this morning?
I had a great breakfast.
What was it, sir?
I had a large coffee with milk.
Okay.
And then I had a green smoothie. And then I had a quinoa bowl with 3 eggs.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Really? So fancy.
3 eggs, quinoa bowl, tortilla strips, and feta cheese.
Well, usually the guy that spends $10 on coffee, a smoothie, and another $10 on kale.
Oh, that's a $20 breakfast. I had a big.
I just added it up.
I jogged to work too with my clothes in a backpack.
Now that's impressive. Nah, your workout regimen and riding a bike, that's impressive.
But people are very concerned about my hygiene when I do that.
But usually,
we don't have a shower here.
Well,
I don't. I sweat and I stop sweating and whatever.
But you don't stink. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I don't stink.
No, you what they term it? You lightly sweat.
No,
it's not.
I don't lightly sweat. I heavily sweat, Jake.
Well, when I see you lightly sweat.
Yeah, because by that time I've been waiting for them to make the quinoa bowl and the smoothie and cool down.
But back to the point. To me, you forgot where you came from. You know you love donuts. You got older. You started being more health conscious. And here's the most important thing. You just don't want your kids to have them. That's what it is. You just do not want your kids to have them. So you don't want them in the house. You don't want to go to Dunkin' Donuts. You don't want to go to Krispy Kreme because they're going to order 10 donuts and eat them all in front of you.
You know,
and you're going to be tempted. You're going to be tempted to put away your kale and put away your green drink to partake in eating donuts.
Let me tell you something. Do you know what? My kids love Dunkin' Donuts.
Of course they do.
And do you know what they love?
I got to tell you something.
You know what they love at Dunkin' Donuts? Hash browns. Those are good.
You know, let me tell you what you got to do. Let me tell you what you got to do with the kids.
I get them munchkins.
When you get the donuts,
munchkins.
Gotta pop them in the microwave for a short period of time.
Oh, they lose their integrity.
Like about 5-10 seconds.
Tell quick microwave? Yeah, I like this, Jalen.
Quick, not
like the 10 to 8 seconds.
Yeah, like real quick. Oh, it's a game changer.
Oh, okay. I like that.
You gotta do that. Do that for the kids.
So let's be honest. Since we're having a safe space, honesty moment, Jalen, when was the last time you ate a full donut?
Maybe like a year or two.
Yeah, that's a
long
time.
But I love donuts.
That's a long time.
So at Detroit Southwestern, anybody that knows about my hometown, there's a donut shop right across the street from the school on Fort. And we used to go there every morning.
Oh, in high school, the 65 cents get you those little donuts that come in that little tray.
Yeah.
There's like 8 of them in a row. Yeah, that's lunch. That's like a straight up lunch.
But you don't have to eat the donuts in the morning. You can eat them at any time of the day.
Okay. Yep. Jalen Rose, there was some very interesting news in the NBA yesterday. Suns owner Robert Sarver made a move, and GM Ryan McDonough is no longer with the organization. Okay, GM getting fired, not that big a deal. GM getting fired just days before the season is curious. What do you think about the timing of this move?
I have 2 words that come to mind for this one.
Oh, okay.
Ready for them?
It's going to be a short segment.
Sam Hinkie. I see a team that was tanking but didn't tell the world, but it was obvious by the product that was on the floor. And when it was time for somebody to take the baton, once you have Embiid, once you have Simmons, once you have Saric in tow to take them to the next level, you fire him and you bring in somebody else.
It certainly looks, we know that Booker's good. He just signed an extension. It certainly looks like Ayton could be pretty good based on what I've seen.
And the reason why I feel this way is if you know that you're going to fire your general manager, guess when you do it? Before he takes somebody in the draft.
Yeah.
Because usually he's trying to shape the roster based on what he feels like it should be for the future.
Well, to be fair, the draft, they didn't have a lot of decisions to make at the number 1 spot this year.
You do have decisions. You could trade it.
Sure.
And so when you allow him to take that pick, or when the organization takes that pick, maybe against his will, which I doubt, you're basically set for what you're trying to do. And they've done that the last couple of years. They got really nice prospects. Now it's time to see if they can become the level of player of an all-star caliber. So now James Jones, who I want to see get this opportunity. I played with him my final year in Phoenix. Know he has a great relationship with the owner, Robert Sarver. Like we're seeing with Elton Brand, you may be seeing a version of that taking place in Phoenix.
One thing with coaches, when coaches get fired, we kind of have a good idea why. They've got a win-loss record. They've said things to the press. When GMs get fired, I feel like we don't have all the information, especially when it comes to curious timing like this. There could be tension going on that we don't know about between ownership, between other people in the front office. So there's only so much we can say about the timing, but something happened. Something happened.
And I got to tell you a dirty secret.
What's that?
We know the GM's records too.
I guess so.
The coaches.
I guess so.
And it's really dubious based on the timing because you're putting together a squad and we're about to go out and perform in regular season games next week. For you flagrantly to upset the apple cart means when you brought the people in to replace him, you told yourself you were going to do it anyway. So it sounds like a conversation of why not just do it right now.
It's not just Ryan McDonough. It's also the assistant GM, and it's also one of their scouts. Like now you have to go hire people. Well, those same Phoenix Suns were performing last night in the Bay against the Golden State Warriors, and Steph Curry, in one possession, just reminded everybody of his brilliance. Watch Steph Curry here. He not only steals the ball from the Phoenix Suns, goes down the other side, up, little move here, little move there, gets to the rim. It's just like sometimes Steph reminds us of his brilliance because he hasn't been the MVP. He hasn't been the finals MVP. He is sort of neck and neck with Durant. But who do you think is more important to the Warriors? Steph Curry or KD?
Steph.
Really? Why do you say that?
Because when people talk about building teams and ask this question to people, you'll stump a lot of people in arguments. They're going to name a lot of people, and nobody's going to say Steph Curry. Who did the Golden State Warriors build around?
Steph Curry.
And the last time I checked, they won a championship before KD arrived.
They didn't build around Klay Thompson or Draymond.
And they won 73 games. So he drives and became the anchor of what they hope to get accomplished, which allowed them to acquire KD, not the other way around.
And when they acquired KD, they won 2 straight. And Steph Curry also had something very interesting to say to the media about their expectations this season. Usually what athletes do is they downplay things. Oh, we're just trying to take it one game at a time. And, we're trying to make the playoffs and then see what happens. The regular season's long. It's important. Well, here's what Steph Curry had to say about their expectations. Quote, "We talk about the three-peat just because it's in front of us. I don't think that's something that's repeated every single day. But when we start the season, obviously we lay everything out on the table. What's at stake in terms of our expectations?" What do you think about Steph Curry putting on wax that they're a championship or bust?
He's a son of a gun, literally. Father Dell played against him, had a quick release, long-time career, great shooter. Steph Curry understands, because he's been in the gym for so very long, it's okay to embrace the reality. And he knows that when Boogie comes back, he understands that 2-3-peat is strictly something that does not take place, and it is really special. And he plays for a coach that won 3 championships with the Bulls, 2 championships with the Spurs, and 3 as a head coach. So he understands how to get them there as a leader. So I have no problems with him owning it. I didn't want to hear a stock answer. But here's what people got to pay attention to. Boogie ain't going to be playing in the beginning of the year. And I got a trivia question for all you basketball fans. Name the 3 or 4 people that's going to be playing up front at center. You're going to get to know them this year because you don't know them just yet.
Looney, Hill, McCaw? No, he's
a guard.
Small. Yeah.
Bell.
Oh, Bell, that's right. Yeah.
So, those guys are going to be playing quality minutes.
Zaza, he ain't there anymore.
He's in
right?
Detroit.
Yeah.
So, that's my point. So, while they will have a chance to win it all again, of course, when you're competing against them, you got to say, where are they weak? And that's a position that they have to now develop somebody to play quality minutes. So for my 2 goals for the Warriors is to do that first and foremost with the 5 spot. The other thing is they need home court advantage. Boston Celtics are coming. And 6 of the worst 7 or 8 teams in the league on paper going into the year play in the East. The Boston Celtics play 52 games against that conference.
Those players, yeah.
They get Kyrie back. They get Gordon Hayward back. They have a legitimate chance to have the best record in the NBA. They won 55 games last year. Jason Tatum's going to take a leap. Jaylen Brown's going to take a leap. Terry Rozier made a name for himself. They brought back Marcus Smart. So if I'm the Boston Celtics, and that's the second thing for the Warriors, I'm trying to get a home court advantage against them in the finals.
Jalen Rose, no one loves lobster more than you, right?
Nobody.
Every time we go out and lobster's on the menu, what do?
Grill. Well done.
Order it. No matter, even if there's just lobster in a dish, you order it.
Correct.
Lobster ravioli, Jalen wants it.
No doubt.
Love lobster. Well, Jalen Rose, I found someone that loves lobster.
Lobster mash.
I found someone that loves lobster more than you.
Lobster mac and cheese.
Listen to me. I found someone that loves lobster more than you. This man is dancing with a lobster in the club, and he's petting it. Jalen Rose, he's waltzing with the lobster, and I love that move at the end where he pets it. Look at him right here. Boom, he goes for the full pet of the lobster in the club. Homeboy brought a lobster as his date to the nightclub. Does this man officially love lobster more than you?
Soft move.
Oh, come on.
Soft move.
Oh, come on.
Number 1, because I'm jealous.
Oh, you're jealous. That's why. You're just jealous.
That he's giving the lobster more attention than I could ever. But number 2, he need to be finding somebody else to talk to.
Oh, you don't think people are coming up and talk to him?
No.
That's a conversation piece.
No, he looks weird.
They are. Oh, weird plays. Weird plays.
I didn't see nobody trying to come up and talk to him.
We watched an 8-second video. I promise you, he went home with a bunch of ladies in tow. And the lobster had 3 ladies. He had 3 ladies. Oh, definitely.
He up in the club smelling like fish.
Oh, that lobster was wearing perfume.
Come on,
you take the lobster out, you clean the lobster up.
Stop.
That lobster's the best wingman I've seen.
No,
that's the best wingman I've seen.
You gotta put that lobster in a
You're jealous. Don't be jealous of the lobster, man. Right now, it's time for you and me and Method Man keep it moving. Jalen Rose, not everything is worth discussing. If you would like to discuss the topic, you say hit the brakes. If you would not like to discuss the topic, me, you, and Method Man, just keep it moving. Are you ready?
Let's get it.
Dana White has some information about a potential Khabib-Conor rematch.
Hit the brakes. I was all in.
Dana White said that immediately Conor McGregor has already reached out to him and asked for a quick turnaround rematch. Do you think Dana White should grant him this rematch?
Yes, he should grant the rematch.
Disagree.
And unlike you, I'm excited to see it. The problem with it is what happened post-fight with Khabib. Everybody saw that take place, and somebody from his entourage jumped into ring to confront Conor.
Mm-hmm.
What people aren't anticipating, Conor's response. And he's not going to take this too lightly. And I'm just trying to figure how they're going to go weeks promoting the second fight, being in the same place at the same time where the bad blood has not only spilled out of the octagon, but it's personal.
Remember Conor McGregor, before the fight, mind you, a fight that he knew he might lose, he signed a deal with UFC. There was a multi-fight deal. What Conor needs to do for himself and what the UFC needs to do for him is put him out there and get him a win or two before the rematch against Khabib. That's what I would do if I were then, because that's the best business decision for all parties.
It ain't the best for Conor because he already got his bread. He I want to fight Khabib.
He's not getting his bread unless he does the fight. If he gets 2 straight losses, that's not good for Conor McGregor.
But the bottom line is, fight number 2, same result.
Exact thing. That's why I don't think it's a good idea. Next, of course, whenever there's a big fight, there's new information from Floyd Mayweather about a fight he's going to be in. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
I don't think Floyd is fighting again unless it's against Manny because that's easy money for him. Keep it moving.
Okay.
We keep it moving. We keep it moving.
The Red Sox beat the brakes off the Yankees
Hit
last
the brakes.
night.
In New York.
I was watching the game. It got boring. It got fascinating. I mean, they piled on and ended up being 16-1. And then a dude hit for the cycle. And this is the interesting part for me. Severino showed up to the bullpen about 10 minutes before the first pitch of the game. What do you think about that part?
That's not his normal preparation. And as an athlete, or as what a lot of successful people will tell you, is time management is key. And approach, whether you're somebody that's superstitious, and baseball players usually are.
A lot of routines.
They have routines that they have to go through in order to give themselves, in their mind, optimum performance. So if that was disrupted, you clearly see the result of it.
Here's what happened. He thought the game started at 8:20. They had a game this series that started at 8:20. He just messed up. And he'll never say it into a microphone, but I bet he told his best friends, I thought the game started at 8:20. I didn't know it was at 7:40. Moving on. A newscaster in Philly has a way to fix the Eagles. He wants them to stop having sex. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
That's a little too personal. Keep it moving.
Okay.
Jalen been moving up. Jacoby moving. We keep it moving up.
Draymond Green, although they won the championship, is still a little bitter about something that happened. Draymond Green says that he should have been first team all defense of the year. Let's listen to him speak about it.
I was second team all defense. That's crazy. Probably a little bit on me, but I don't think any voter can tell me 5 defensive players better than me. I'll wait.
I spent all morning, me and you had this conversation at length, and I tried to come up with 5 that were better than him, and I was reaching. I was really reaching.
One of you was
really
like Patrick Beverly.
I was reaching.
Man, you going into the archives.
I saw a challenge. I tried to accept the challenge, but I will say to you, to Draymond and to all NBA fans, there are not 5 defensive players better than Draymond in the game right now.
I like that he's owning this because playing defense is something that makes the team better. It's not like he's saying, throw me the ball more. It's not like saying he wants more shots. he's actively taking a role in knowing on certain possessions, and this gets thrown around a lot with like LeBron James, for example, but it's not true. Draymond Green is the one player in the league, Anthony Davis is in the conversation, that at different points of the game, they actually guard 5 positions.
Yes.
It's not hype. It's not hyperbole. It actually takes place. And so for that level of productivity on that end of the floor, I definitely can't name 5 guys better. And as a voter, I'm almost sure I had him first team.
And not only that is, guys that make clutch shots. Like guys just happen to just come up when the team needs it the most. He's like a clutch defender. Like in clutch possessions, he ends up getting a steal or knocking off somebody or blocking a shot or getting a rebound. I love Draymond Green so much. Have him come on the show. Can you text him?
I got you.
I want him on the show, please.
He said he will.
I want him to replace you when he gets retired, too. Moving on. Liam Neeson, the actor, claims that a horse remembered him from a previous movie role in which they worked together. We keep moving on that.
We keep it moving.
The horse recognized him.
Dog.
He got recognized by a horse.
Nah, dog. I ain't rolling.
What?
That's the home.
Keep moving on that.
Not the Home Alone guy. What's the movie when he was trying to get his daughter back?
Taken.
Yeah.
A former number 1 overall pick could be coming off the bench in the second half.
This is just bizarre to me.
Okay, so Brett Brown came out, and remember, it's early October. He came out and said that Markelle Fultz will likely be starting the first half, but not starting the second half. This makes no sense to me. Why is he doing this?
This means the organization has told the coach that their number 1 overall pick must start.
It must mean that.
Because the season hasn't started. So therefore, you're already taking him out of the lineup for the second half of games.
Dog.
What if he had 25 in the first half?
Exactly. What if I've got like 25 and 6 assists and I've only missed 3 shots? You're really going to look at me in the face at halftime and be like, oh, well, I guess we're going to put Covington in your spot right now. I mean, that'll make me crazy. Like the idea that you would say this in mid-October and just be like, oh, we're going to put J.J. Redick in there for the second half. He's got a better 3 percentage. I'd be like, what? You see what just happened? Why would you do this in October? It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
It makes no sense.
No. Jalen Rose, LeBron James is always in the news, but recently it seems like Bronny, his son, has been in the news. He plays very well in the AAU team, the blue chip basketball team. One of his teammates went over to the James home. They're friends. Not only did he do that, he live streamed from the home with the teammates inside the cars, showing off the car collection. Talking, just kind of doing a live show from inside LeBron James's house. Then also went through the sneaker collection after he was done with all the luxury vehicles. Jalen Rose, how do you think LeBron feels about this?
He's not happy about this, but most parents would be unhappy with this, regardless of their financial status, because you heard that term. What happens in this home stays in this home. And so it could be a violation of privacy, except you don't want to take it too serious because they are kids. You are letting them come over there. And you have so much money, like everything becomes a museum to them. It becomes an antique to them. And they're so enthusiastic about being there. But here's what I want to ask you. Is Bronny in any of those videos?
I believe he's next to the gentleman streaming, Mikey Williams.
So that makes it official. Well,
that makes it official that I believe LeBron is going to have a talk with his son about this. Right. That's what's official about this. I believe LeBron's going to be like, okay, next time you have your homies over, like, we're not going to be live.
Because let me tell you what nobody wants, city or suburbs. Somebody streaming from their home.
Yes, especially looking at all the luxury goods that are in that home. Moving on, Jalen Rose. We have on tape the greatest athletic achievement our species has ever seen. Watch this video. I know you haven't seen this yet. You see this man, okay? Yep. Keep watching, Jalen. Look at now he's doing the spin with the limbo. I don't know what to call this sport, but I love it. It reminds me of when you were a kid and you would be like, the floor is lava. Look, if you can see Jalen Rose's face right now. Look at this. This video isn't over yet. The backflip, the trampoline, the land on the ball, another one of these things. Like, it goes on a little too long for my taste, to be honest with you. It's like, I get it, dude. You're really good at hopping around and balancing on stuff. But here's one thing I want to point out. This guy gets all the props, but whoever stood there all day and videotaped this through all the different takes it took, that's who the true champion is. That's the real MVP.
Do you think they stopped it, chopped it, and cut it in any way, shape, or form?
There's no edits. That's no edits whatsoever.
It's really impressive. How many
it's
a small space.
How many times do you think it takes? How many takes do you think that was?
100. Right off top.
That was like 3 days worth.
Right off top.
Yep. Ladies.
Hey, ladies!
We need your help and support. Tomorrow is Woman Crush Wednesday on the show. We only take female voicemails. Finally, I get to do the show without Jalen tomorrow. Where are you going?
I will be doing NBA Countdown from Los Angeles.
Okay.
Have a double header. I think it's
Pacers and the Bulls.
Pacers.
And then a big night game.
Yeah, Lakers and Golden State.
Lakers, even preseason, I'm going to be watching that. It's past my bedtime, too.
Yeah.
That's past my bedtime. That's one thing I miss about L.A. It's past my bedtime. I'm going to stay up and watch that one.
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to stay up and watch that one. So we'll have co-hosts tomorrow and I believe Thursday. Can't wait for you to get back, Jalen, on Friday. That'll be fun. But ladies, we need your calls. Call 985-80-JALEN. Leave us voicemails. Always love to hear our female supporters call in and voice their questions. Of course, we always take voicemails from all comers on other days, just like this one right here.
What up, though? This is Vince calling y'all all the way from Qatar. So shout out to Reg. I'm trying to get on the pod. I've been calling a few times. But I just want to let y'all know that I'm listening to y'all on the ESPN app every day. So I don't need Spotify. I don't need Google Play, Tidal, any of that. My ESPN app is what I listen to y'all every day. So y'all don't have to change the intro. Y'all don't have to delete any of the music just to get on Spotify. If people want to find you, they'll find you. If they're really a sports fan, they know where to find you at. So I got a soft move, a boss move. So one of my partners out here wanted me to go out with him to do the nightlife out here in Qatar, just to see what it is. But I got some homework assignments to do. So soft move or boss move. Skipping out on your homework assignments to go enjoy the nightlife. Again, shout out to Reg. I'm calling you all the way from Qatar. I hope I get to hear myself on the pod.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate the love. Big shout to Qatar.
Love the international call.
Seems like that's someplace I need to be getting immediately. Straight up. It's a boss move to miss the night out and finish your homework. You got to do your work.
That's not what he did. He skipped the homework.
Oh, skipping your homework to go out, that's a soft move.
Because you know what?
You can go out anytime.
Talking about doing your homework takes about half an hour. Doing your homework takes about 45 minutes. Like, just do the work.
But also, here's the thing. I remember, I'm paraphrasing this, but in theory, it's like, handle your business now and party forever. And so that's a mentality that you take care of your business, get your studies done. When you graduate from school, whatever happened that night, it's going to be more plentiful once you graduate.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
You get your job.
Handle your responsibilities.
You have your career.
Handle your
or you start your business.
First.
Wherever your entrepreneurial spirit takes you, it's going to be heightened once you graduate.
Handle your responsibilities first.
Yep.
You know what I've never, ever been in my life?
What?
Have a drink at lunch guy.
No, that's why.
You know what I mean? It's like if this happens a lot in business, where like you go to a business lunch and someone's just like, oh, let's have beers or whatever. It's like, no. I'll finish my work day and then I'll have beers. But I don't need to have 2 beers at lunch like I'm having a party.
But that says something.
I have to go back to the office.
But also, let's personalize this. I think that says something about you because it says it about me too. I'm guilty.
What's that?
I can't just have one.
I can have one.
I can't.
And then have another.
I can't. Correct. So that makes that irrelevant.
Because having one doesn't really make sense to
exactly.
me. Listen, another thing, unpopular opinion, I don't really love the taste of alcohol. It doesn't taste great.
Yeah, it doesn't taste.
It feels good.
Right.
But I'm not drinking it for the taste.
Right.
And I mean, there's some circumstances I'll have a beer at lunch. Workday's over.
Correct. Now, when the workday's over, you do
when the workday's over, go ahead.
You got more work to do.
Handle your responsibilities first.
And here's what work is. People think, like, posting on your IG and Twitter, that ain't work unless you're getting paid. That ain't work. Okay? Going back and check the comments and doing all of that editing, that ain't work. Here's work. Whatever you're getting paid for and whatever you're filing on your taxes. That's work.
Yeah.
So when you have to do that, handle it, and then you champagne in the campaign.
Do your homework before you champagne the campaign, Vince. And you know what? I'm sure Vince left us some really great voicemails before. I'm sure he has. And you know what? Reggie didn't listen to him because Reggie doesn't listen to them all. I'm convinced. I'm convinced at this point. I've had homeboys call in, said they were my homeboys on the voicemails.
Oh, that's why they shouldn't have said that. They shouldn't have said that.
No.
That was the wrong thing to say.
Reg still mad about the donuts?
That ain't how you get in VIP.
No. Reg still mad about the donuts?
Saying that you know David Jacoby on the voicemail will not get you on the program.
Why would you put my homeboys on?
That's why.
I think Reg listens to like 15% of the voicemail.
No. He just listens to the ones, and when they say, I'm friends with David Jacoby, he deletes them.
If they say shout out Reg in the first 10 seconds, then he listens to them. If they don't,
that's what I would do too.
Mm-mm.
That's the rule. He's the bouncer at the club.
Make sure
if you don't know the code word, then you ain't getting in.
Make sure you call.
You've been to those spots.
985-80 and leave us voicemails. I think actually Reggie does listen to all the voicemails. He just like this one from Vince and Cutter. I'm going with. And they won the World Cup. There's a big controversy about how to say it. Qatar or Cutter? I think it's Cutter. I think Vince said Cutter too. Cutter just seems like a weird name for a country. We got time for one more voicemail.
Yo, what's good? Jalen, Jacoby. Shout out Reg. So I'm at work. I'm in law enforcement. Work for government. We're having this, real serious debate. Real serious. So we're having this debate, and I need you to settle it. The debate is, when you make your bed, do you face the opening of the pillowcase towards the outside of the bed or towards the center of the bed? I say the outside of the bed. I've always grown up, and it's just been the outside of the bed. I never had any official training on this, but that's what I'm saying. So I need you guys to figure out this debate, settle it for us, and let us know, man. Also, with that, cultural, regional, or universal, caring which way the pillowcase faces. I've never cared. I've just always done it the same way, but I've never put any thought into it until this discussion came up yesterday. So, holler at me. Let me know what you guys think. Keep doing what you're doing. Yup. No medicinal. I work for the government. If I did medicinal, I wouldn't have a job. No medicinal. Deuces.
First of all, I really enjoy this call because there's a lot going on in it. Number one, he's in a raging office debate. And then at the end, he's like, I never cared, but I always did it the same way. I never thought about it, but I always did it the same way. You can't do it the same way every single time and not think about it or care about it.
Yes, you can. It's called routine. It's called habit.
But you have to think about it.
No, you don't.
You just disagree with me sometimes just to disagree with me.
I'm just
by definition, in order to do it the same way every time, you have to put some thought into it.
I'm just telling you, like, a lot of times things come routine as well, and you just do them subliminally.
Okay. Let's just allow that to be a fact and move on.
Okay.
I don't put much thought into this.
Me either.
When I make the bed. I also don't make the bed that much. I can't lie about that. My wife's the bed maker. But I will say this. Given the option, I would prefer the opening of the pillowcases both face each other in the center, and here's why. Because I would like, if you were looking at the bed from the side, to it look as neat as possible.
Correct.
And I feel like if you have the opening there, you're opening yourself up to it looking a little sloppy. And
Correct.
Here's another confession. My pillowcases, clean. My pillows, yellower than my teeth. I've been rocking the same pillow for like a decade.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's my pillow.
And cases?
No, the cases are clean.
Okay.
But sometimes when I'm changing pillowcases, I'm looking at my pillow like, what?
It has to be flat.
All right. I want to thank everybody for calling in, especially my man with the government job. Not allowed to do medicinal. Shout to Vincent Cutter. Shout to Donuts and everything else. We'll be back tomorrow with special guests. One of them may or may not have a theme song from Jalen Rose, Get Low, and another special guest. We'll be back tomorrow. Why is that, Karis?
We're not done. We're not done. Got to give the people time. Give people what they want.
They my little guys. I love them.
Speaking of the Hobbits, let's talk about LeBron James for a second.